Hello, this is Belinda with the Southern Scribe, and good to be here again. I have a journal I'd like to share with you, and this one I did something I haven't done yet. I wrote a backstory for this journal. I've seen several artists do that. Nick the Booksmith is great at it, and I don't have her talent. But whenever I create books, I always have a fictional character in mind, someone who would own the book when I make it, to help me figure out how it should look. So this time I decided to write that story down, and I'm going to get started because it's a page and a few sentences, so it'll take me a minute, and then we'll do a quick flip through. But this book is called Autumn Arrives, and it's a design team project for Arty Maze. I used her Autumn Splendor kits 1 and 2, and the add-on. So here we go. Victoria Hadley couldn't believe it as she set foot ashore. She had made it. The voyage across the ocean towards her freedom had finally ended with sweet liberation. A twinge of guilt shook her. She had been born into such a privileged life, and her father and mother were good people. But their insistence on her marrying Reginald Dupree had sickened her. He was a vile man, 20 years her senior, and a pompous ass. His cold-hearted nature had been exposed time and time again. Victoria could never have loved such a man. Yet because of his wealth and status in London, her parents had selected him to be her husband, and Reginald seemed all too happy with the arrangement. He looked at her in the most disgusting way, like she was a Christmas goose waiting to be devoured. Father had fallen ill, and Mother was afraid that his condition would drain the family's financial resources, but Victoria could have cared less about the money. Her heart belonged to another, John. He was a simple, hard-working man employed by her father as a factory foreman. Her parents had refused to accept him. She had tried explaining that John would certainly be able to run her father's factory, and the family's social position would be safe with him at the helm. It had all fallen on deaf ears, and as a result of professing her feelings for him, they had not been allowed to see each other for months. She was no longer allowed to accompany her father on his trips to the factory. As the wedding date to Reginald rapidly approached, Victoria had decided to leave it all behind, to start over. If she couldn't marry the man she loved, she wouldn't marry at all. Not wanting to involve John because of the uncertainty she felt as to whether or not he still cared for her, she had slipped banknotes from her parents' holdings quietly for months and planned her escape to America. Here she would start over, without anyone knowing who she was, or better yet, without knowing about her wealthy family, who by now were certainly looking for her. She had even left her fine clothing behind. Instead, she dressed as a young woman far below her own station, and had listed herself as a widow on the ship's registry, under a false name, of course. There would be no trace of Victoria Hadley leaving England. Her attire had made her blend in unnoticed on the voyage. A common widow woman was hardly considered a desirable target for any unwanted pursuers. Would it be the same here? Victoria certainly hoped so. And what was to become of her dear sweet John? She would wait a while for things to settle down and try to send a telegram to let him know of her whereabouts. But could she risk it? And more importantly, did he still want her? So many questions and emotions swirled inside her head. She could still smell the saltiness of the port, but far in the distance she could see the trees. What lovely trees, with orange and golden foliage. It was autumn, her favorite time of year. "Next, please," she heard a man's voice. "Ma'am?" "Next," he repeated. He was talking to her. "Welcome to America," he smiled. "May I have your name for the port registry?" "My name?" she hesitated. "Yes, of course," she replied. "My name is Autumn Tinley." The name she had chosen for herself when leaving England seemed so appropriate in this beautiful new port. It was a sign, she reassured herself, a sign of good things to come. All right, so this book is Autumn Arrives, and it is a ring-bound journal, 2 rings here, and the cover is hardcover. On the back, I have a collage of vintage ephemera ads and a place to write your name, and you see that there. And over here, this is Autumn, and there's some buttons and fabric and some keys and the lacy fabric with a pin, and up here is an old vintage earring and a cross necklace piece there with some lace, and there's buttons on that pin. And this was from an old vintage piece of jewelry. It's a little, some type of little face there. I loved it. But there's all types of ephemera on here and a die cut, and there's layers and layers going on. And Autumn, you know, as you realize now, is really the Victoria Hadley. So we're going to go inside. On the inside cover, there's a paper pocket, and inside of there is a postcard that she may or may not send, and an envelope. And guess who's in there? I know you're all dying to see John. That's John. That's her sweetheart right there. So I'm not going to put that in there, sorry. We're going to put these back in the pocket, and as you can see, it's a collage of dictionary pages and ads. And on this page, it tells us more about Autumn. This is a calendar dated 1882, 1883, and has the months there for you. But there's a wanted ad, and circled on the wanted ad is they're wanting a respectable girl to work in a florist shop to make arrangements. So we know she likes flowers. She's going to be looking for a job. That's going to be the first place she checks. And you see the paper here stamped in gesso. There's a lot of gesso, a lot of stamping all through this book. So if you like that, this may be just your cup of tea. This is a page from the kit, The Autumn Splendor by Arty Maze, and I absolutely loved the kit for this book because of the colors. And there's fabric and laces. Another little tag there you can write on the back with some modeling paste and stamping. This is a glycine bag, and in the glycine bag we have a book page. And this is, if you belong to Junk Journal Junkies, I can't talk, on Facebook, it's a Facebook page. Under their files, Andrea with Arty Maze, she has tons of free printables, and these just happen to fit this kit. I love them. There's a railroad pass. This is a postcard. I'm not sure who that's by, but you know, just in case she decides to send John a postcard instead of a telegram, or if she wants to contact a friend that she left behind in London, she could do that. There's the back side of the bag, a little squirrel with a little tabby thing stapled on there. Some more pages. This is a page from the kit with a little lace sewn on it, and lots of stamping and little cutouts throughout. This is some paper that I actually saved some images off of Pinterest that were older, like digi-stamp images, and made some pages out of that. This tag is a little different. It's a 3-fold, and it just goes in there. Postcard, paper from the kit. This is just a piece of ephemera. I think I got it off of Pinterest, I'm not sure, with paper on the back there. Another page from the kit with modeling paste. This was from the kit. Most of these tags and things are from the kit. Lots of buttons and lace sewn on, and I left the strings. And there's another one of those DigiKit pages. This is from the kit. So is this paper that I've stamped on and done some gesso. Another DigiKit paper from Arty Maze, The Autumn Splendor, with some stamps and fabric and buttons. Another page made out of a vintage ad there, and a digi stamp. And this is just an old ad on coffee stain paper. All these pages are coffee stained. And there's some lace and fabric trim. This postcard was from the kit. Isn't that pretty? Or I think this was one of her free ones that she put on Junk Journal Junkies. All right. And this page that was a vintage ad, I actually made a pocket out of it and put these are her cards there that go with the kit. And let me get those back in there for you. And you can certainly put more in there. This was an old piece of ephemera that looked like a telegram message or something that had been sent, so I put that in there. This is a page from the kit with some stamping and cutouts on it. She loves flowers. There's a floral theme all through here, and I tried to keep it darker so that it looks like autumn, the right time of year. DigiKit paper with lace with bling. DigiKit paper with one of her pretty cards that make a tag. Lots of room for writing. There's script stamping on almost every page, but it's not too dark so that you can't write on it. This was one of her freebies that I printed out and attached to my page here, and I've got a piece of paper stuck there. This was a little DigiKit image I put on there, and you can see all the buttons and things. Lots going on, little fabrics at the top. This was a page from the kit, and of course I coffee stain these DigiKits after I print them because it gives them a watercolor look, and I'm just really into that right now. So the images are not really blurred like this. They're very crisp, but if you want this look, once you print it, you spray the backs of the paper with coffee and then put them on a baking sheet in the oven at 225 for about 5 minutes, and you have this watercolor effect. All right, and there's a DigiPrint that I printed out, an old ad there, stamping on all the pages. This page from the kit, and a Digi stamp, and ribbon and lace on that page stamped. This page from the kit. That's an old ad page there, more modeling paste. And I hope you can see all this. I'm trying to keep it in center. This was one of her freebie postcards that went great with the kit. Another journal page, and some of the paper clips are these round spirals. This was in her kit. I think that's really pretty. And I made a pocket out of this one, and in here, this was 2 of her tags, and I didn't cut them apart. I folded them and made a booklet cover. So you have a journaling booklet inside of the vintage ad page. So that's lots more writing space there. And this is an ad that was from her kit on a DigiKit page there. Beautiful. And this is one that I printed off of Pinterest with another button and a little cutout flower. This is a vintage ad that I made a page out of by backing it with coffee stain there. And this is a regular tag. It's not a 3-fold tag, but this is a kit from the journal with stamping on it. And this is an envelope, and it has a tag there. This is both from the kit. Love it. It's so pretty. And I did heavy stamping and modeling paste and fabric and gesso. I just kind of did these pages up. DigiKit page, a page from Pinterest there. Inside of this glycine bag, so there's 2 in there, I made a book that you can certainly write in, put pictures in. I love books within books. That's a thing of mine. I love to do that. All right, and that's a page I printed out. This is a Digi from the kit with a cutout and some buttons and lace and trim there and stamping and modeling paste. This is another one of those 3-fold tags. I put a brad through it, so you would just have to pull the brad out, or just to write on this page with the autumn tree and acorn design, you could just swivel it there. And this is on a little undercut page, more botanical theme, kept darker because we know our girl Victoria/Autumn, she loves flowers. There's a tag and lace, and the tag is just pinned to the page down here with stamping and script stamp. A little paper flower punch out with a button, and another page frame that I printed out from Etsy. This is one of her tags from the kit there, and this is a kit page and buttons and fabric, and on the last page is one of her freebie postcards over the back of that page that looks watercolor because I sprayed the coffee on the back. And then here we have a postcard from her kit, and the seed pack is from her kit too. And inside of there is a little double tag with the pocket that comes from the kit. And I made a collage on back out of some ephemera and dictionary pages. And then, like I said, I left the back plain so that it could lay flat for whoever has it. Lots of strings, lots of yummy grunginess. I'm going to have this one for sale on Facebook, so I'll have a link below to my Facebook page, and you can take a look, and you can just email me or contact me on my Facebook page if you'd be interested. Thank you. Bye-bye.